Hi, good morning. Good morning, good morning, America. My name's John Wright, and the people that spread rumors in the Pacific Northwest or across the United States about D.B. Cooper being their dad or their family member and stuff like this, and the last things that they say on their bed is a death confession, that's a lie. My dad told me a confession down at the bowling alley in Morton, Washington. Now they've renamed it Millhouse Smokehouse in Morton, Washington. After Richard Millhouse Nixon, my dad told me, I'm sorry that boy was murdered on your bed, Terry Lance Shortridge. Lancer is the code name for John F. Kennedy. This is about the John F. Kennedy murder. This is about the John F. Kennedy assassination. It's nice to see the equipment truck going by here this morning, and I waved to them. You know, they shut down my street here, and they do surveillance here. And because I've had problems with my goddamn neighbors fucking acting out, with no more than a BB gun shooting my goddamn lion that I put on the side of my 37-foot motorhome to threaten me once again. So you see, the problem is I've been threatened personally in America. I have been personally threatened in America. My dad had been hostage in Morton, Washington, down at that bowling alley, and he was forced to comply. He made $2 an hour. He told me how much he made. You know, me here, I'm making 6, 8, 10 bucks an hour. Back in 1980, my dad's making $2 an hour, and he's a slave. And George Fairhart from Morton, Washington, a Lebanese person, is down there, and their family's enslaving people in Morton, Washington, and Lewis County, Washington. And you know what? Donald Trump's caused so much goddamn trouble in America with his text messaging people, and they're threatening people throughout the United States through text messaging. You know, if I did such a thing and did text messaging, I would have my goddamn text messaging rights taken away. You know, just because you have a phone doesn't mean that you have the right to harass somebody with a goddamn phone. And Mr. Trump does that. He harasses people throughout the United States. And matter of fact, when I think of text messaging, I think of spamming. He's spamming. You know what? I send out emails and I get shut down for spamming. Mr. Trump does it and he gets fucking goddamn rewarded. Why? Well, fuck, they won't even apply laws to Mr. Trump. You know, Mr. Trump's got a lot of goddamn things going wrong with him. And by the way, my brother-in-law comes over. That's fine. He's a Trump supporter. Well, hell, I used to support Trump too. I thought there was something in a businessman that you do this, this, and this, and you goddamn rise to occasion. But what a bunch of fear mongering to get what you want, and the rambling stuff that he does on TV and throughout the internet. Man, that guy needs to be barred. That thing is the worst thing in America right now. Why has this guy got these goddamn uh, beyond rights? They're beyond rights. He's getting stuff that he doesn't deserve. And by the way, he's not a billionaire. He's a zillionaire. And what he does is, you know, you can have all these shared properties and stuff that looks like they have value and property and stuff, and he don't own nothing. He don't own a goddamn thing because he goes from one job to the next job to the next job to the next job. Donald Trump's all over the place. Why? He's running around like a chicken with his head cut off looking for his next income because he needs a new job to finance the next job. He needs a new job to finance the next job. He needs the new job to finance the last of the old job. He's robbing from Peter to pay Paul in order to rip it off. I mean, Jesus Christ. It's called wealth with no risk. I had a real estate agent that's now in the cemetery. And matter of fact, that's the next place for Donald Trump to go, is because, you know, Donald Trump has to rip off America. He has to rip off America because he's out of money. He's out of options. And when you're out of options, you do something desperate like Mr. Trump's doing. You do something desperate like Jerry L. Wright's doing up on the Middle Fork Road, hiding behind a barbed wire fence. You know, I've been threatened by guns all of my life. First thing I was threatened by guns. In Port Angeles, Washington, there was guns outside of my bedroom door. Right there, my dad's 30-06 is right there. There's a 22 sitting right there. That 22 right there, it doesn't eject shells. That 22 right there was passed off as the gun that murdered Terry Lance Shortridge. That's named after John. Okay, Terry Lance Shortridge was murdered on my bed to silence the town over the D.B. Cooper money. In Morton, Washington, 1975. In 1968, I'm in Port Angeles. I'm being let out of a cage to be sent to school. I come home. I find myself either with my brother somewhere or back in that fucking cage. Like that cage is my playpen. You know, you fucking grow up in a fucking, you're put in a rabbit cage with a rabbit to keep you calm like you're a little animal. And my family members, they're older than me. I have my sister Bonnie. And my sister Bonnie was forced to sit there in that same room and play a piano. She don't play a piano today. I don't think she likes pianos, by the way. I asked her about that. She said because something about she just wanted to make her better. Something, you know. Okay, great. You got lessons. But I'm in the rabbit cage and I'm watching her. You know, she even asked me, she goes, well, where was I when you were in the rabbit cage? She was right there at the piano, and I watched my Aunt Betty, my dad's, over her. I mean, what I'm saying is true. They're forcing people to do such things. It's like my sister Bonnie sending her daughter to take tap dancing lessons. Well, I remember that place. Linda Wagner's tap dancing school. There's an L right in Linda's name. My sister's following signs right there, and so is her children. You know, but what they're doing is, you know, they want our gun rights is what they want. But do you think it's right that they let little children have guns like this? They don't have no, you know, lessons about what you're supposed to do and not do about guns. And by the way, by the time the children are old enough, they've already been bred to, you know, play guns and stuff with people. This is the wrong message in America. Now, you want to do something about gun rights right now? Now, Mr. Biden has one. You educate people about guns. Great, perfect step. Now, Walmart needs to take these goddamn guns right off the fucking shelf or close their goddamn door. Walmart is un-American. Walmart needs to go. There's a lot of problems that stem from Walmart being allowed to be built in places where there's poor people to begin with being there. Well, people will say, well, you don't want people to poor people to have value? No, I don't. Not when that's the value of this. This, you know, if they're selling this here to your kids and stuff that's in these poor people's areas and stuff, and they're learning how to use guns and stuff like this, and you don't see how that'll equivalent out 20 years in the fucking future, man, you need to get your head examined. People need to get their head examined. Just because you have children doesn't mean that the dad should go out and carve the child a gun to fucking go around and threaten his family members with it, because that's exactly what happened to me. My brother-in-law carved out his children guns, you know, but I will say that, you know, that boy wasn't out doing that. The dad carved the gun and stuff. He did it with his child. Maybe that's how children should learn things, you know, from their parents, instead of having somebody that'll buy somebody else's child something like this, and then they come over and say, well, where's the toy I gave your child? You know, like a bully. Well, anybody that's buying your children toys like this and letting them open them up in front of you for Christmas and pulling that kind of crap, you better look what you're looking at. You're looking at a retarded renegade, a guy that's gone weirdo like Donald Trump. They don't see nothing personally wrong with something like this being being sold to children. Do you see something like this wrong with being sold to children in America today? Is this what you goddamn fucking think so fucking fine? Because I'm a child that grew up that found out that my picture was fucking put across the United States of America as a fair tactic to take your goddamn rights away from you in the future. So I'm standing right here right now telling the law enforcement community, you quit goddamn threatening people and you goddamn put your fucking guns and badges down. You know, you want to threaten people with your guns and badges, but you don't want to get your fucking hands dirty and you don't want to take the goddamn fucking message right to your face. Well, I'm right here. My stepdad was a law enforcement officer. He got out of the business when they told him that he had to lean on people, lean on young people. You know, I remember that conversation real well. There's a lot of things that I remember real well. The conversations that he was having about my mom. You know, my mom was hiding behind a cop right there on Rhode Island Street, like Rhode Island, Maine. You know, like that bowling alley that got shot up in Maine, like the bowling alley that has a saw on it in Morton, Washington right now. I'm telling you the truth. My brother Jerry Wright's face is sitting right here on my chest right now, and he's put my face on the United. They use my face and his face. This guy showed up in court laughing in court, putting his mother through grief because he was having sex with his mother, and he told me that woman's going to pay for the rest of her life. I told Marietta, I said, at one point I said, Jesus, Marietta, what are you guys doing? Marietta, if you ever get caught up in something, this catches up to you, you know, you could end up in jail. I don't know what you guys are doing. And I told them outright, and then they come after me. And why? Because the goddamn people was hiding behind me. My family members, each and every one of them, my brothers and sisters, when they come to me, they can't walk straight. They can't look at me in the face. A matter of fact, neither can these other people down there in Lewis County. Quit hiding behind your badges. Give up. Why don't you turn yourself in? Why don't you tell the truth? It's the best thing for America. The best thing for America is people that are guilty of covering up crimes and hiding behind people and threatening people. That's the problem. That's not the solution. Donald Trump's the problem, not the solution. The people that he is incorporating reminds me of the wrestling that's going on right now in Texas, where I see Rocky Johnson, The Rock, and his little family of weirdos, like abusers and stuff. You know what's wrong with professional wrestling? They don't have professional rules involved in it. And if they don't do professional rules in the United States of America on wrestling that's live on TV, that is really unacceptable. That's an unacceptable policy that Vince McMahon and Donald Trump has incorporated into their careers. Now we should pull the pin on both of them. Wrestling in the United States of America should turn into a professional sport instead of sports entertainment of a bunch of bullshit.